Hey there, and welcome to HisTime365. I'm so glad you're here for day 133 of our 365-day journey through the Bible. Today, we'll look at Esther 5 through 7, and I'll walk you through what happens, what it means, and why it matters. I'll share a summary and some insights to help you see the big picture and connect with the heart of the scripture. During your quiet time, I encourage you to read today's lesson in a Bible translation that speaks to you best. Now grab a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and let's spend a few minutes giving God His time. The Courage of Esther, a story of faith and strategy. Imagine standing before a king, your heart racing, your palms sweating, knowing the fate of your people hangs in the balance. This is exactly where we find Esther in chapters 5 through 7 of her remarkable story. As we dive into these chapters, we witness a blend of courage, strategy, and divine providence that highlights the importance of faith in action. In chapter 5, Esther boldly approaches King Ahasuerus after 3 days of fasting and prayer. Clad in her royal robes, she stands in the inner court, and the king notices her. He extends the golden scepter, a sign of favor, and Esther is welcomed. This moment is monumental. It's as if she stepped into a spotlight where her courage would determine the future of her people. The king asks her what she desires, and instead of laying out her request immediately, Esther invites him to a banquet she has prepared. This is not just a meal, it's a strategic move. She knows that timing is crucial. By building rapport first, she lays the groundwork for her request, demonstrating that sometimes patience and strategy are just as important as courage. At the banquet, she invites both the king and Haman, the man who has plotted to harm her people. Here we see Esther's wisdom in action. She doesn't confront Haman directly just yet. Instead, she creates an atmosphere of trust and camaraderie. As they enjoy the feast, the king again asks what she wishes. Esther skillfully asks for another banquet on the following day, where she will reveal her true purpose. This approach shows us that sometimes we need to take a step back and think before we act. Esther's cleverness reminds us of the importance of strategy in our own lives. In our workplaces, for instance, presenting ideas carefully and at the right moment can lead to better outcomes. Meanwhile, Haman is riding high on his own ego. After the banquet, he goes home and brags about his wealth and influence, but he remains obsessed with the disdain he feels for Mordecai, who refuses to bow to him. It's a classic case of pride leading to downfall. In his anger, Haman builds gallows to put an end to Mordecai, thinking he can rid himself of this annoyance. Yet this highlights a practical truth. Letting our emotions dictate our actions can lead to disastrous results. In our families, for instance, when we let anger guide us, we may say or do things we regret later. As chapter 7 unfolds, we see a divine twist. That night, the king cannot sleep. In a moment of what seems like coincidence, he asks for the records of his reign to be read. There, he discovers Mordecai's earlier act of loyalty, where he saved the king's life. The king realizes that Mordecai has never been honored for this act. Just as Haman enters the court, the king asks him how to honor a man. Haman, believing the king is referring to him, outlines an extravagant plan involving royal robes and public acclaim. Little does he know that the king's honor will actually go to Mordecai, the very man he seeks to harm. This moment is a beautiful reminder of how God can turn the tables in our lives. Sometimes, when we feel oppressed or overlooked, God is working behind the scenes to set things right. It's like the times we feel invisible at work or in our relationships. We might be doing the right thing, and in time, recognition will come. In our mental health journeys, we might feel overwhelmed, but trusting that things will turn around is crucial. In chapter 7, the moment of truth arrives. Esther finally reveals her identity as a Jew and pleads for her people. This is a monumental step, showcasing her bravery and commitment not only to her people, but also to her own identity. The king, enraged by Haman's treachery, demands to know who has plotted against Esther. When she reveals Haman as the enemy, the king's wrath is fierce. Haman's fate is put to end on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. It's a striking example of poetic justice. Esther's story teaches us that standing up for what's right, even when it's scary, can lead to profound change. In our own lives, whether it's advocating for a colleague at work, speaking up for a family member, or addressing issues in our community, we can take a stand, knowing that courage can lead to justice. The unfolding drama of Esther reminds us that God has a hand in our affairs, often working in ways we can't see. As we navigate our daily lives, let's remember to approach challenges with the same courage and strategy that Esther displayed. When faced with challenges, remember that courage and strategy can change the course of history. How can we apply Esther's strategy of patience and timing in our daily lives? In what ways can we stand up for others like Esther did, even when it feels risky? Have you ever experienced a situation where things turned around unexpectedly? How did that affect your faith? Thanks so much for joining me today for HisTime365. Remember, today's reading is Esther 5 through 7, so be sure to spend some time with those verses during your quiet time. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into Esther 8 through 10, so feel free to read ahead if you'd like to prepare. If you enjoyed this time together, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you never miss a day on this journey. I'll see you back right here tomorrow for day 134. Until then, stay encouraged and thank you for giving God His time.